Right, hello there. Welcome to my Let's Learn the Track series on iRacing. This season, we're going to be covering the BMW 12.0 series, which is kindly sponsored by simrigs.com. So please check out their website in the video description. Now, videos will be published weekly to coincide with the track changeover, and the intention of this series is to help you gain back that lost time. So this isn't a place for hot laps, this is a slow, methodical approach to learn the track, showing you my braking markers and my reference points. And as always, please let me know in the comments if this helps and you've managed to gain any time. Thanks for watching. Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Let's Learn the Track BMW 12.0 version. This week, week 6, season 2, 2020, we're here at the beautiful Donington National. So it doesn't have the loop down the bottom, it's just the chicane and back onto the straight. So a really good fun track at Donington, but notoriously hard to overtake. So if you've not seen the Let's Learn the Track series before, I'll just explain what it is. We're going to go out there, we're going to do a couple of slow laps. I'm going to show you what I use as reference points as I go around the circuit and what I use as my braking markers. Then we're going to slowly pick up the pace and show you those braking markers and reference points in action. So this isn't a place for hot laps. If you want hot laps, then you're going to have to look elsewhere, I'm afraid. This is just a slow, methodical approach to get round the track relatively safely and relatively quickly. So we're using iRacing default weather, which I will put on screen now, and we're using iRacing dynamic sky. Fixed setup. The only thing that I'm going to change in this is I'm going to lower the brake bias from what it is by default to 51.1. I think that works best pretty much everywhere in the BMW. So enough waffling on, let's get out there and learn the track. Right, so here we are then on pit lane in the simrigs.com BMW M8. Now, pit exit at Donington is a little bit sketchy. Pit exit is right on the racing line and braking area for turn number 1. So, we'll talk about that when we get further down. So, if you've been in the pits in the BMW 12.0 series, you've either had a penalty which you haven't cleared and you've had to do a stop and go, or you've had damage and you've come in to repair it. So, it's vitally important that at this point you have your relative box on and keep an eye on what traffic is coming up behind you, because if you've been in the pits, the guys that are coming by you are obviously a lap ahead. You're not racing those guys, so just back off, let them by. It's much safer for everybody. So this here, at the end of the chevrons on the right hand side there, that is the braking zone or the braking area for turn number 1. So, and this is obviously pit exit. So be very careful when you exit the pits. Now we'll talk about turn number 1 next time by. However, I will mention this curb on the right hand side as we go around. There is a temptation here to just drop 2 wheels over the curb on the right hand side as you go around. But as you'll see here, there's a really big lip on the inside of the curb, and as soon as you try and bring the car back onto the track, the inside of your right tyres hit that and it lifts the car, unsettles the car massively. So my advice is don't put 2 wheels over the curb there in turn number 1. So it's a late apex turn number 1, and although we're going down the crane of curves here, and essentially it's 2 right turns and a left, we're pretty much on the gas all the way down here. When the tyres are warm, we're flat out all the way down. So whatever speed you carry out of turn 1, you are going to carry all the way down the crane of curves. So we're going to be clipping the 2 apexes on the right hand side, certainly the first one. We're going to clip in this first one, and then we're going to be in 5th gear at this point. Now turning for this left is blind, so you're going to have to just get a feel for when you need to turn in here, but it's before you can actually see it. So we're going to be in 5th gear, and as you go around this left turn, the car will get a little bit light, so especially on cold tyres you may well just need to lift off the gas a little bit just so the car doesn't start to oversteer and lose traction there. So we're going to be cutting this inside curb, and we're going to be braking for this right hander where you can gain lots of time if you are quite brave, but that does come with its own risks. So as you can see, there's a sign on the left hand side there telling us there's a right turn, and then there's this discoloured tarmac here. That's what we're going to use as our braking marker or reference point. So as soon as we get past the sign, there are 2 tyre marks there that you can see. When we get to those, pretty much halfway down this last part here, we're going to be braking down into 3rd gear, and we're going to be putting 2 of our wheels, the left wheels, on this curb on the left hand side, and then we're going to be turning in and we're going to be clipping or cutting this inside curb. Again, there's a little dip just on the other side of the curb, so just bear that in mind. When you do cut curbs here at Donington, they all have horrible little bumps on the other side of the curb, so do it with a neutral throttle. Don't be just giving it the beans and full gas when you go over these curbs or the just off the curb there. So let the car run out wide. You can run wide just off the curb there. There's the wire mesh, but get it back on before the grass. Same with this left hand one here. You can cut this one, you don't get off track, but there is a dip on the other side. That one I think is one of the worst ones on the circuit, so I tend not to cut that one if I can help it at all. So then we're moving the car over to the right hand side. Get 2 wheels, your right wheels on the curb on the right. We're going to be in 5th gear at this point on a flying lap, and we're going to be turning in just before the end of the curb, and we're going to be putting our left wheels on this curb, and then as soon as the car is straight, we're going to be braking down into 2nd gear for this right. So we're trail braking to get the car to the apex. As soon as we're on this inside curb, we can start accelerating, but the car will get light because there is a slight crest there, so the car will get light, lose a little bit of traction, so just bear in mind that you need to be careful there. And then we're moving up to this blind right hand turn at the top of the hill. Now, what have we got here to look at as far as braking markers go? Well, we've got this line going across the road there, so that's our indicator that we need to be braking shortly after that. Now, we've got some lines or some tyre marks going up the track there. You can see that one, and then you can see this one coming down here. Well, if you follow this left one up, there's these curly ones, and then just after that there's this one here on the right that crosses over that one. Where it crosses over is pretty much where we are going to be braking. So we're braking down into 2nd gear, and then we're going to be turning in before we can see this one. You can just see on the right hand side, I don't know if you can actually see it there, but on the right hand side we've got that board there. Pretty much as soon as that comes into view, we're going to be turning right, and we're going to be clipping this inside curb again. Do it with a nice neutral throttle, and then back on the gas, get it back for the 2nd apex for the run down to the final chicane. So braking point here is, there's a crest, not this one, this next crest. We're going to be braking in a straight line, car over to the left hand side, so braking about here, down into 2nd gear, and there's some tyre marks which are going to kind of indicate our turning point here. So there's these 2 that go across the road surface there. That's pretty much where we're going to be turning in. Now this chicane has got horrible sausages on the inside of both the right and the left. However, you can clip these a little bit. It's much better to clip the first one than the second one, because you need a really good run out of here if you're going to make an overtaking opportunity, if you're going to make a move on somebody into turn number 1. So try not to cut this second one if you can help it, because it doesn't settle the car. So then accelerate hard out all the way down towards turn number 1. So we're going to be moving the car over to the left, and as I mentioned earlier on, our braking point is the end of the chevron area on the left hand side. So this is going to be our braking point here. We're going to be going down into 2nd gear for turn number 1, and it's a late apex, this one, so we're braking in a straight line. We're going to be apexing this one quite late. Again, be careful not to get 2 tyres over the curb on the right hand side, and then we're going to be accelerating all the way down into 5th gear. So on cold tyres you might need a little lift as we cut this inside curb, and then braking there down into 3rd gear, and we're going to be cutting this inside curb. Car will run out wide. Again, don't cut this one and go on the curb, but no more. two wheels on the right hand curb there. Cut this inside curb, and then we're going to go down into second gear. Car will go light round this right hander, and then we're going to be braking, looking for those tyres where they cross there. There they are, down into second gear. Cut that first curb and accelerate down to the final chicane. What I didn't mention, I don't think, is brake bias. We'll talk about that now quickly. I have mine set to 51.1. There we go, it's moving now, didn't want to turn. So I have mine at 51.1. That's where I think it seems to work best here at Donington, or pretty much everywhere actually. So here we're braking down into second gear. You can cut this inside curb a tiny bit, hit that sausage, but don't hit the second one. So then accelerate hard down into turn number 1. Tyres are still cold, so fifth gear, so we're going to be braking hard at the end of pit lane there. Late apex, get on the gas, because when you get on the gas here you don't want to be taking it off again. All the way down, so clip this first curb, up into fifth, a little lift just as we go around this left. We're going to be braking hard down into third gear, clip that inside curb, but if you do it with a neutral throttle. Don't clip this one, that's a killer. So two wheels on the outside curb, up into fifth, clip this inside curb. As soon as the car's straight, down into second gear. Then accelerate up to the blind, right hand turn at the top of the hill. So braking there, down into second, clip that inside one, and this one. Then accelerate out, hard down to the final chicane. So at the top of the crest, we're going to be braking hard down into second gear. So you can touch that first one, but try not to hit that second one, as it doesn't settle the car. So lap times around here, I don't know what we're looking at. 103s, maybe the fast guys are doing 102s, I don't know, but definitely into the 103s. We'll get some heat into the tyres and we'll try and see kind of where we are lap time wise. I'm probably going to be in about 104s, so I've not had a massive amount of practice. But 103s is definitely doable around Donington National in this car. So as soon as the car's straight round this left hand turn, braking hard down into second gear. And then look for these tyre marks. There they are, so braking there, down to second gear. So you're turning before you can actually see it there. So the tyres are still cold, the car is moving around. So we'll try and pick up the pace a little bit now, see if we can get a couple of flying laps in. But a decent lap around Donington is tough because there's so many places where you can just cut the corner a little bit too much. You've got to be so precise. So we're braking there at the end of pit road, down into second gear. Be very, very patient before you get on the gas there. It's tempting to get on the gas a little bit too soon. So that was a 104.6, so let's see if we can beat that. The tyres are nice and warm now. Now this is a little bit quicker. So we'll get the cars over to the right. You've got to maximise the width of the circuit here. It is a very, very wide track. I've ridden around here on a motorcycle and I couldn't believe how wide it actually was. So as you can see there, as I cut that one, it didn't settle the car, but I did it with a neutral throttle. I wasn't really accelerating too hard, so it's fine. So are we into the 103s? Maybe just not quite. We'll try one more lap. Turn one was a little bit better, but we got distracted by nearly going on the grass there. Lost a little bit on exit there. So as soon as the car's straight, we're on the brakes. Now, I don't think this is going to be any quicker than the last lap. Now we're a tenth down, so we're not going to be any quicker. So, but 103s is definitely doable around Donington. So you can get away with clipping the first one there. And we did get a little bit of time by doing so this might actually be a quicker lap. Yes, it is. A 103.996. So as long as you don't clip the second one and compromise your exit onto the straight, then you can get away with clipping that first sausage on the chicane. But it should be good fun around Donington this week. Should be. So there we go. That's this week's Let's Learn the Track from Donington Park. If you wouldn't mind, let me know in the comments how you've got on. Has this helped? Have you gained any time? That'd be greatly appreciated. And also, have a look in the video description for these guys, simrigs.com. Sell all kinds of sim-related products. So please go and check them out. So there we go. Good luck, everybody. Have a good week. See you later. Cheers.